The Shin Megami Tensei franchise is kind of a franchise I'm a bit mixed on. While I love Persona and just like the characters and the amazing stories it has to offer, Shin Megami Tensei as a series has kind of disappointed me. The interesting settings and fantastic mythology that's presented in these games is honestly really interesting, but often the stories that are told through this are kind of lackluster and boring, which really saddens me because the Shin Megami Tensei series has a lot of potential to tell really fantastical and like out there stories, but it really doesn't. It actually is a lot more grounded than Persona at points. Like take Strange Journey for example. This game is like really out there possibly in terms of like setting. You're going into like a wormhole in Antarctica, but all it does is tell this really generic sci-fi story with it, and it's not that interesting, which is really strange because Persona actually goes out of its way to like set up the setting and show it in this interesting light and introduce characters in a way that's actually, you know, intriguing, which is extremely frustrating to me because Atlus has some really great ideas with the scenarios here. They just don't do anything with them. But to a lot of Megami Tensei fans, that isn't the appeal of Shin Megami Tensei. It's the gameplay and the amazing, fantastic dungeons and art styles, but even then, that aspect's kind of lacking too. Like take for example Digital Devil Saga or SMT Nocturne. Those games have some of the most generic and boring ass dungeons I've played through, and I've played through all the Pokemon games. There's like an entire chunk of Digital Devil Saga 1 where you play through about 4 hours of fucking gameplay and get fed 15 minutes of plot. When this game's supposed to be the more plot-oriented SMT game, it fucking fails on its own mission. And even the games I do like the story in, like SMT 4, it fails on the gameplay aspect. Like there's no balance in this series, and it really sucks. So that's why I kind of went in with low expectations for SMT 5. Like, I saw some of the trailers and stuff, and I thought some of the mechanics they were introducing were really interesting. But my big worry, and sadly biggest issue with this game, is the story. The story of SMT5 follows this teen as he gets thrown into this other dimension with this conflict between law and chaos. Through this journey, he's going to find his friends from his own world, and they're going to slowly align themselves with law and chaos. If this setup sounds very familiar, that's because it's the setup of every fucking Shin Megami Tensei game. And guess what? This time, they don't develop it at all. All the characters are generic as fuck, and I don't remember any of them, even though I've played through the game 4 fucking times. In fact, this plot is so fucking thrown together, I'm sure they just put this plot together in the last year of development, because everything else feels so disconnected from it. Not once did I feel a sense of urgency or sadness over the plot of this game. It was just kinda like, it's really mediocre. But that's just the story, and yeah, while that's an important part, I don't think it's the main driving force of this game. The gameplay this time around is actually really fucking fun. It incorporates these open world segments with this fantastic gameplay that actually makes the game fun to traverse through, which is something I've had a huge issue with the Shin Megami Tensei series up to now. Usually exploration in the series felt like the 1995 Maze game that would show up on your Windows computer. Like, it was really fucking bad. Like, the series really wants these settings to like blow people's minds, but it's usually some of the most generic exploration ever. Thankfully in this game they go for something like a collectathon Nier game, which is actually pretty fun. You find these like little Mitama dudes around, and they give you these things called glory, which you can exchange for these abilities your entire party could use. It's actually really cool. Another really cool thing this game has is an amazing art direction. Like the colors and the fantastic characters, like they look really great, even if I don't remember what their names are. I love the fantastic look of everything when you like slam someone with a move. You could fucking hit them. There's this one move in the game that actually makes me really, I love it. It's so cool. You like do this swirly thing around your arm, and it's like this giant tornado. You like raise it up and they just fucking slam it on them. It's so cool. I love how the moves look in this game. Like, you get hit by something, you're like, oh my god, that's gorgeous. Also, I'm getting my ass kicked, but that's gorgeous, dude. The only thing is, it doesn't feel as rewarding because the game's kind of buttload easy. Like, it isn't that hard of an SMT game. It's actually one of the easier ones, in my opinion. Literally, the only part that frustrated me was the fucking level design in one of the areas. There's this, like, abandoned city where there's like this war between angels and demons like constantly going on in the background. It's really fucking annoying to traverse to, and the map is really god awful in that area too. Like, I don't know what they were doing, but it really sucked. Overall, Shin Megami Tensei V is a step into the right direction. I really had fun with the gameplay. The story kind of sucks still, but I hope they can fix that with a sequel or some kind of spin-off using this engine. This game's a pretty decent recommendation to me. I definitely recommend it to you if you're a huge fan of the Megami Tensei games up to this point. And to people who aren't very familiar with this series, I think it's a pretty decent starting point. If you don't like this game, you're probably not going to like the other games, just a heads up. But I think that's all I have to say for this game. Thank you guys for hopping on by for this more shorter video. It was a lot more raw than my, more scripted content, but I actually really enjoyed doing stuff like this. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and leave a comment if this is something you'd like to see me do more, because there's a couple of games I'd like to just give my raw opinions on rather than do something like a full-fledged review on. But thank you again for hopping on by this video, and take care. This is Sleep, and I'm signing out. See ya!